All right, Shalom. First off, and give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah Bashem Kakwadash. Want to give double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and the sincere Shalom to the Akim out here that's doing and pushing his work in truth and in sincerity. Okay, I'm going to ask chatgpt what this Great Millstone say hell is. Okay, and they got it right. Okay, it says Great Millstone GMS teaches that hell in the Bible is not an internal place of conscious torment, but primarily refers to the grave, right? Which is all in the Hebrew. Okay, it says they argue that hell in the Old Testament comes from the word Saul, okay, in the Hebrew, meaning the grave or the pit. Hell in the New Testament often comes from the Greek Hades, which they also say means the grave, right? Um, it says, according to GMS, hell equals the state of being dead, unconscious in the grave, not a fiery torture chamber. Okay, they often reference verses like Ecclesiastes 9:5. Let's get that. Okay. Um, before I get that, I had a scripture. Okay. um, This is Matthew 22:32. It says, I am the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob. God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. Okay, and his name is Yahweh. Okay, so said Ecclesiastes 9:5, right? Let's see what it says. Okay. Um, scriptures is coming to my mind, you know. Yeah, Ecclesiastes 9:5. It says, for the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything. Ew, that's a good precept. Okay. It says, neither have they any more a reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Okay. So yeah, people who actually think that you know, when they die, you know, you'll get rewarded, and go into heaven, or you'll get, because even getting penalized is a reward as well. Okay, you'll get rewarded and go, to hell to burn forever. Okay, the scriptures, says otherwise. Okay, but it says Psalm 6:5, right? It says, for in death there is no remembrance of you, and the grave who shall give you thanks. Okay, so that's another one. Okay, uh, Acts 2:27. It says, because thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer your holy one to see corruption. Okay. It says, thou hast made known to me the ways of life. Thou shalt make me full of joy with your countenance. It says Hades quoted in Psalm 16. Okay. I'm gonna just read the whole thing. It says, "Preserve me, O Yahweh Bashem, for in you do I trust. Do I put my trust? O my soul, thou hast said unto the Lord, Thou art my Lord. My goodness extendeth not to thee, but to the saints that are in the earth, and to the excellent, in whom is all my delight. Their sorrows shall be multiplied that hasten after another God. Their drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names into my lips. The Lord is the portion of mine inheritance, and of my cup. Thou maintainest my lot. The lines are fallen onto me in pleasant places. Yeah, I have a goodly heritage. It says, I will bless the Lord who has given me counsel. My reins also instruct me in the night seasons. I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoiceth. My flesh also rest in hope. Okay, for thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer your Holy One to see corruption. To see corruption. Thou wilt show me the path of life. In your presence is fullness of joy. At your right hand there are pleasures ever forevermore. Okay, so being in this, this truth. Okay, the Lord gives you the understanding of life. Okay, and that He's the God of of the living, as the scriptures say. And you know when you look at people who think that you die, you just burn in hell forever. you know well, we like they make it to where um like we're just living these lives for no reason. Okay, and the good part is um getting to heaven once you die. you know but the scriptures talks about uh that he is our God. We live. He's the living God. He's the living power. Okay, and our life is supposed to be dedicated to him. Okay, so being in hell, it doesn't benefit you. Okay, but burning in hell forever. Okay, it says a condition of judgment on earth. Right, GMS also teaches that hell can describe captivity, slavery, right, which is manifold, right, um oppression, mental anguish, living under the curses. It says, for example, they commonly interpret Deuteronomy 28, and that's talking about the curses, right? Lamentations, Jonah 2 and 2 says, out of the belly of hell. Okay, it's a condition. Okay, um, it says it says it's describing conditions, not a literal underworld. Okay, they often say we've been in hell already. Okay, the lake of fire equals future destruction, not eternal torment. And this is key, okay, to understanding, the proper breakdown of hell. It says they teach that the lake of fire represents nuclear destruction during the end times, World War III. The wicked will be destroyed, not eternally tortured. Okay, America, which they call Babylon, will be burnt with missiles. Okay, and that's the lake of fire. Okay, it says they reject the mainstream Christian idea of eternal conscious torment, a red devil ruling in a fiery underground kingdom. Okay, and Christians, they don't know how to break down the scriptures. you know Yeah, they don't got precepts lined up. Okay. But let me get that. Okay. This is Revelation 20 and 14. It says, and death and hell, right, which is the grave, right, were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. Okay. So if you're dead, how do you die again? Right? Which is, you got to be able to understand that. Okay. Of what is the second death. Okay. What is the first death? Okay. The first death is you dying, and then next thing you know, your second death is you dying again. That's not what it's talking about. The first death is when the Lord, okay, killed, you know, mankind with the flood, okay, back during the time of Noah, okay, and the promise of that was the rainbow. Now the second death is the thermonuclear destruction, which the Lord you know is going to destroy um a lot of people. Okay, Isaiah 24 and 5, right? It says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant, right? Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. Okay, so there's going to be a few people that are going to be left. Okay, um, this is Second Ezra 9 and 15. It says, I have said before, and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved, like as a wave is greater than a drop. Okay. This is Zechariah 14 and 12. It says, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Okay? So if somebody dies, right? How are you don't have flesh when you die, right? Unless you could take the body with you. Okay? But the consuming away, okay, is the thermonuclear missiles, the thermonuclear destruction. Okay. Malachi 4 and 1. It says, for behold, the day comes that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that comes shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. This is Second Peter 2. I mean, yeah, Second Peter 3:10. It says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up." Okay, so there you go. The earth is going to be burnt up. Okay, I don't say hell and then no. This is when these people, the wicked, whoever isn't of the elect, which we want to be of the elect. Okay, the only ones who's going to escape this is the elect. Okay, the ones who's not of the elect, they're going to be here on earth getting burnt up. Okay, not dying and then going to go get burnt up. Okay, it says, "Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved." Okay, so that would mean that even heaven would be on fire, according to what the scriptures say. So you got to be able to break it down and qualify everything. Okay, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Okay, it says, "Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness." Okay, so that means, yeah, according to Christianity, the hell should be so hot that it burn up, heaven to the point where heaven got to be renewed. Make sense. Okay, it's talking about this earth that we are on. Okay, now the whole world is not going to be on fire. Okay, as I said, Babylon the Great, okay, will be on fire. Okay, and the clouds, everything that we know about this place, from one end to the other, okay, is going to be burnt up in this World War III. Okay, when the Lord returns. Okay, so you know don't listen to Christians about what hell, man. If you want the real breakdown of hell, in the truth about the scriptures, Great Millstone has it. Okay, so with that, Lord willing, edify. Shalom. Till next time.